From the year of 2006 till this day, over 2,000 people have come forth describing a similar, creepy, disturbing face of a man they have never met in person, but only in their dreams. Some say he helps them, gives the dreamer advice, but others say he doesn't say a word. Instead, they have an overwhelming sense of terror as he stares at them. What if this man was finally seen in person? What if you found him standing in an aisle of the grocery store as you turned the corner? Would he be hostile, or would he be friendly? Among the people who have recognized this man in their dreams, he never gives his name, but over 2,000 people refer to him as this man. It was about 10:30 at night when we started cleaning up from our house party here in Calgary. It was our first time hosting a little get-together with some of the co-workers and friends in this new house. Well, I say new house, but we've been here for almost 10 months now. And I've moved around so often as a kid that 10 months in a house to me seems, well, permanent. But this house is beautiful. The biggest house that I've ever lived in so far. Thanks to the high-paying job I have here in construction. Oh, wait, hold on. You don't think I can make that much in construction, do you? Well, let's just say I put in a lot of effort in a house design demo that I put together for a company, and which was sent up to the higher-ups, the big wigs. And thinking it was just something I could do on the side to occupy my time, well, it turned out to be something that snowballed into putting me into one of the nicest neighborhoods here in Calgary, and putting several more figures into my bank account. Oh, and don't worry, I designed this house that I'm living in right now. But did I really want it this big? Well, the ceiling goes so high. And my heating bill has never been so high either. I'm trying to keep this place warm in the winter. It's really ridiculous, but with the way things are going, no price is too high to be comfortable. Now, before you hate me and provide a rich, filthy image of what I might look like, I want you to know that things were never this easy for me. I moved around so much as a kid not because my family was in the military or had a government job, but because I didn't have a family at all. Are you feeling like a jerk yet? Good. You shouldn't, because I'm the jerk. I'm the jerk that treated my poor young self to believe that if I didn't accomplish something within a certain amount of months, I should just go die. I was just a little construction worker at the time, with access to hammers, nail guns, big heavy machinery. Or I could just go ahead and take the easy way out, yet messy way, and climb to the top of the building that we were constructing downtown and just jump off. I thought about what I would be shouting as I was falling. Or would I be singing? Maybe I would sing, "Step back from that ledge, my friend," or "I'm free falling" by the great Tom Petty. Or would I shout, "I took the red pill and I just want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes," hoping my co-workers understand a Matrix reference. Well, you get the idea. And I didn't do that. Yet. I ended up accomplishing short goals that turned into long-term goals, in which those turned themselves into lifelong accomplishments, with many privileges. Now, I don't work as hard anymore, and you can't blame me for not working hard anymore. You think I worked this hard so I could keep working hard? No, I got to where I am so I can make things easier on myself. Well, enough about me. Let me talk about my amazing wife that I see tiptoeing around in her heels on my marble floor. The one that I wake up to as she is doing Pilates in the morning in her spandex and makes me feel like the lazy one as I'm just lying there in bed. I like this one a lot more than wife number one. Wife number one, she had it coming to her. Alright, the fire, okay? She had the fire coming to her. I didn't do anything. She was the one that left the stove on when I was at work. The stove got a little out of control and she was in the basement. So because she was in the basement, she couldn't get out. I'll take your silence as your heartfelt condolences. Thank you. Now, that house wasn't very nice, so perhaps the stove was a bit sketchy. Either way, I am not leaving the stove on and going into the basement, even in this house. Nor would I get a woman like that ever again. That's why I chose Miss Early Morning Pilates, or as you may call her, Rachel. As the last few of our guests left our house, I was helping Rachel with the dishes. Afterwards, when she was feeling tired and just wanted to lay down, I surprised her. I told her, "Pack your bags, honey. I took these next 2 weeks off so we can head down to Glacier National Park." Her eyes got wide and her smile became, well, more of a smile. She was ecstatic, I could just tell. "Please, go start packing now so you can be done 6 hours from now. And take your heels off too, I don't want you to fall." When really, I didn't want her chipping away at the marble on every step of the stairs. Do you know how painful it is to feel those heels step on you? I mean, I think a jackhammer does half the job these Louis Vuittons do on concrete. Good thing she has red bottoms, so any kind of blood protruding from my toe would just kind of mix with it. And she stepped on my toes a few times, and I still hold a grudge against her. Other than that, though, she's great. Why Glacier National Park, you may ask? Well, we have always wanted to go there. We prefer the outdoors. We prefer to be together. Just the two of us. You know how painful it was having that little get-together tonight? I mean, man, I didn't think I could make it. But we both made it through. However, I will say that Bob's 3-cheese macaroni was phenomenal. So perhaps we will have Bob over some more. Just Bob. As Rachel packs upstairs, she calls down to me, telling me I should make sure the home security cameras work. Yes, we have cameras in our home. Inside our home, not just outside. I know, I'm not a fan of it either. But Rachel acts like she's guarding nuclear warheads or something in the house and needs to make sure every few hours all of our presets work on our cameras. What can I say? Happy wife, happy knife. Happy life. Happy life. So, there is our kitchen. Perhaps if I invite Gordon Ramsay over, we can have a Hell's Kitchen episode with this camera. I mean, we might as well. We have everything set up, really. Yes, honey, we've got it all set up down here. Cameras are rolling, so let's try to go to sleep tonight. Now, I've already packed everything without her knowing, so I really don't have to do much. Did you hear that? We don't even have a rooster. Well, anyways, sun is shining through the window. I wake up, groggy, but I eventually come to. I feel the satin sheets telling me to lay back in bed, but I must get up so we can hit the road. Rachel is calling my name, telling me to get ready. We should start heading out soon. Why is she not doing Pilates? I ask myself. Stepping out of the shower, in which I designed myself, I get dressed. We will be on the road for a few hours, so I get into something comfortable. We took our bags, and in the trunk they go. Behind the wheel I go, and back to sleep my wife goes, in the passenger seat. I stop at a local coffee store, get some coffee, and hit the road. We were going to make a little detour and go through St. Mary's Lake as we drive through Glacier National Park. So we are looking at maybe a total of 5 hours till we get to where we are staying. And no, I haven't built anything out there in Glacier National Park, but I should. As we cross the border, we are more than halfway through our trip now. Not much further. Rachel would wake up every so often, look around, look at the pretty mountains out in the distance as we got closer. She was in awe. She was so happy to finally be going to Glacier National Park. And she never did ask multiple times, "Are we there yet?" Thank God. We make our way south, my car chewing up the miles, the mountains out in front of us. Even though it was summer, still you could see snow settled at the very top of the mountains. As my eyes shifted focus back to the middle of the street, something caught my eyes on the left. A dark figure, someone in all black. He had a bit of a hunch, but from what I could tell, he was balding on top of his head. He had dark black hair on the sides of his head, and he was walking in my direction of travel, south. As I pass him, I see another object in front of him, a baby stroller. He wasn't reaching out his hands as if he was a hitchhiker. He kept his arms by his sides, and his hands, they were tucked away into some of his jacket pockets. Not into his pants pockets, but into his jacket. And this baby stroller in front of him, was it his? I mean, it would have to be. But why was he walking towards it as if he left it there momentarily and returned to it? What else was he doing? Or was it not his, and he was walking towards it as if he knew it would be there 100 miles away? I mean, there were no other towns nearby. I try to get a good look at his face, but it's obscured as I drive past 70 miles per hour. I feel a weird sense of wonder come over me. I think about all the different reasons why he was out there with a baby stroller. I knew my wife didn't see because she would be freaking out already. But as I look over, I see her staring back. Eyes wider than I've ever seen them before, and her mouth slightly ajar. But her eyes almost looked as though her veins in her eyes were pulsating with a heavy blood flow. "Honey, you okay? I know that was a bit odd back there, and maybe that was his way of making people feel bad for him and trying to catch a ride." Rachel says to me, "No, I've seen that man before, but never in person. I've had this reoccurring dream of him walking towards me, just like that, with his hands in his jacket pockets." I try to lighten the mood a little bit. "Oh, so is that your knight in shining armor that you dream about, walking alongside the road in the middle of nowhere?" Well, I'm not helping him. We were going to keep driving. She said to me, No, I'm glad you didn't stop. Because those dreams become nightmares when I see him." I was a bit freaked out, to be honest. I turned up the music in the car. I sang songs to myself. I looked over trying to get Rachel involved, but she was looking down towards her hands, not filled with many emotions as we made our way closer to St. Mary's Lake. "We're almost there, Rachel." We make a right at the intersection taking us to the road named Going to the Sun. We travel the winding road with mountains engulfing each side of my car. The only thing with a more winding journey than us is the water retreating down the cliffs of the mountains from the snow melting at the very top. Babbling creeks along the right side of the road, and St. Mary's Lake on our left, peering through the trees until finally a break in the trees, and we see St. Mary's in all of her glory. The mountains on each side of the lake making St. Mary's feel more colossal. The ambience of distant birds and a slight breeze finding its way through the mountains, almost to make a subtle, godly whisper. We stop and get out. We end up taking some pictures, and I lower my camera. I embrace Rachel with my right arm as we gaze into the distance. I look down at Rachel. I can tell Rachel is so happy. I look back up. I look at what's been here far before me and Rachel ever entered this world. I think about everything these trees have seen, all the faces of people it's made gaze at itself with jaws dropped. Several moments had passed until something caught my eye to the right. A face I'm not very keen on. About 50 feet away from us stands a man slightly covered up by some bushes. Slightly concealed, I still know exactly who this is. No, I don't know his name. No, I have never actually met him. But I have seen him. Not too long ago. About more than 20 miles back. A man walking towards the baby stroller. It's him. I just know it. Just 50 feet away from us. Not saying anything. Just staring at us. I keep Rachel turned away. There is no way this man walked over 20 miles in a half hour. There were no other cars parked around us, and no cars passed us on the road. Who is he? I turned Rachel further to the left, away from this man, thinking she doesn't need to see this man standing there. I tell her, let's get back in the car and go further up the road. We drive away. I'm looking in the rearview mirror for the man, but he is nowhere to be found. Man, that guy gives me the creeps, I think to myself. And that's when Rachel turns to me and says, I knew he was there. Why did you not say anything? I look at her, Rachel with tears in her eyes. Honey, I say to her, why are you crying? She starts whimpering and sobbing. Right next to me in the car, she was staring at me. But she is so emotionally unstable. She starts crying out. I tell her, Rachel, it's okay. I'm not going to go up and talk to some weird guy looking at us from a distance that can't manage to come up and say something to us. And at that moment, Rachel tells me he's been speaking to her in her nightmares. What does he say? I ask her. But Rachel doesn't say anything. Instead, she just keeps sobbing in the car seat. We get to the resort I had booked reservations for. I can tell this place is beautiful, but we are so stirred up we don't even pay attention. We make our way to the front lobby. Ma'am, may we use your phone? I ask the lady at the front desk. We think someone is following us and we think that they are a threat. They give us the phone and I dial 911 to get the nearby police. Meanwhile, the lady at the desk calls over the hotel security. I tell them all the details and I asked if we could have a patrolman or a security guard or two help provide some type of overwatch for us for the night. I told them what this man looked like. They gave me a bit of flack for not dialing the police when I saw the baby stroller on the side of the road and a man walking towards it in the middle of nowhere. But I mean, that was just so bizarre I didn't even think of calling the cops on that scenario. We finally get into the room. I'm so glad to be off the road and in somewhere nice, safe, secure, and somewhere I can just relax. I end up taking a shower. Afterwards, I walk out from the warm water and into the cool air. Drying off with the towel, I tell Rachel, try out the shower, it's so nice. Then I look at her as she was on the bed, and I see her staring at me intently, like when she was staring back at the mysterious man when we were in the car. And then she screams. A blood-curdling scream. She's yelling at me to get away. I put my arms up as if to show, look, I'm not going to do anything, this is me, what are you yelling about? Rachel, what? I'm not going to do anything. And that's when I see an object in my hand that I don't remember picking up. I look over to this object, and in my right hand, I'm wielding a knife. I think to myself, what? Where did this come from? And why can't I put this down? My fist was locked around the knife. Why can't I even put my arms down? As I try to get rid of this knife, I catch a glance at my reflection in the mirror. But it's not my reflection. I notice that so easily because I know that I'm moving about frantically, but my reflection is staying still. The reflection is the man. The man who has been stalking us. I hear my wife screaming and calling for help. She finally made her way out the door, running and yelling, "He's got a knife." so betrayed, feeling like this is just a horrible dream, a nightmare of some sort. But it almost feels way too real. And then that's when my body started to feel like a whole different person, and I'm just a soul trapped inside someone else, a murderous someone else. My body slowly walking to the door, but I didn't want it to. I couldn't even control a thing. I had no intention of walking anywhere, wielding a knife, nothing. And as the door was closing from my wife throwing it open, I see a hand appear on the other side of the door, about to push it open. The knife still in my hand, unable for me to drop it. Whoever's coming through that door is going to be in for a surprise when I can't do anything but walk towards them with a knife. Oh, don't tell me. The man coming through the door was the cop that was sent to provide an overwatch for us throughout the night. I see the cop's face, every detail about it, and eyes peeled at me. I can't drop this knife, but he does not know that. "Drop the knife," the cop yells. I can't drop it. I try to speak as my body slowly approaches him, and I know in seconds, at this pace, I'll reach him. Every word I try to utter wouldn't even come out. But if I reach him, there's no telling what this body is going to do. And that's when everything was decided for me.